Good morning, dear all. As we were discussing R.H. Whitaker five kingdom classification, as you've already seen, Aristotle had given a classification based on the habitat of the living organisms, like the organisms which live on land and which can fly. But that was definitely not a correct classification because it did not take into account the similar characteristics of the various organisms. Then Mr. Linnaeus had given a classification based on the plant kingdom and the animal kingdom. His criteria was the presence or absence of the cell wall. So he did not take into account the bacteria, the fungus, all these organisms were grouped under plantae, which was again not a very definite or a good classification. Then five kingdom classification was proposed by R.H. Whitaker in 1969. Okay, so what did he propose? He proposed there are five kingdoms. What are they? One is Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae and Animalia. Now what are the different characteristics on which these different divisions were formed? Let's look at one by one. These are the characteristics he has taken. The first one being the cell type. Now what are the various cell types that we see? As we already have studied in earlier classes, maybe probably in class 9, that there are two types of cell. One is the prokaryotic and one is eukaryotic. So this prokaryotic cell, as the name suggests, pro is a primitive. Primitive karyon. Karyon means the nucleus. So primitive nucleus, that cell which has a primitive nucleus is known as a prokaryotic cell, which does not have a proper nucleus, membrane bound organelles. Okay, so the Monera contains all the prokaryotic cells. Okay, means the organisms having not proper nucleus are the ones which are actually prokaryotes. They fall under the kingdom Monera. Next comes Protista. Now definitely always remember, classification and evolution go hand in hand. So once a division that we have seen is a primitive one, and when we advance, we move ahead, we see that there is an advancement in the type of the cell structure. So the next one, Protista, has all the organisms which are eukaryotic, and once this eukaryotic has started, it will not go back to prokaryotic. Now it has to be eukaryotic from there on. So fungi also eukaryotic, Plantae also eukaryotic, and Animalia also eukaryotic. Okay, then let's see what is the difference in their cell wall. As you see, Linnaeus said that all the organisms having cell wall fall under plant kingdom. But see, we have different type of cell compositions. So Monera, their basically cell wall contains of polysaccharides and amino acids. These are not complete carbohydrates. These are basically the polysaccharides that are the minimum simple type of carbohydrates. And amino acids, as you already know, they are the basic unit of proteins. Protista, they have the composition. Some of the protistans have cell wall, some may not. So some have, and those they also have this type of composition. Some have and some don't. Like amoeba, which falls under Protista, is not having a cell wall. As you have already seen, amoeba can protrude its pseudopodia, and the pseudopodia is definitely very flexible organ. Then we come to fungus. Fungus has a cell wall which is non-cellulosic. There is no cellulose. It is made up of mostly chitin. It is non-cellulosic. Non-cellulose. Fine. Plants, definitely they have a cell wall. This cell wall consists of cellulose, and some other substances like pectin and all are also present in plenty. But right now we'll talk about the main ingredient, that is cellulose. Now we come to next is the criteria is the nuclear membrane. Now you all know when I'm talking that a cell is a prokaryotic cell, then definitely it is not going to have any kind of a nuclear membrane. So nuclear membrane is absent in Monera. There is no nuclear membrane in Monera. But yes, as here we have seen, this is, see what is the meaning U? U means true. Karyon means nucleus. So the true nucleus will definitely have a nuclear membrane enclosing the chromosomes on which the DNA are situated. So yes, here the nuclear membrane is present, and once the nuclear membrane is present, which is an advanced feature of this feature, it will not go back. As you see, the classification and evolution go hand in hand. I am repeating the sentence again and again, so you never forget that. So this is again, here it's going to be present, here it is going to be present, and here also it is going to be present. Now what is the body organization? What do you understand by body organization? Body organization can be cellular, like in unicellular organisms. It can be multicellular. These cells could have been, have formed the proper tissues. Tissues could have formed the proper organs, and then you know all these organs, last year you have studied in class 10. All these organs, they form an organ system and ultimately body. So here when we are talking about Monera, they are all unicellular organisms. They are prokaryotes and they are unicellular. So the body organization of Monera is of cellular level. Right. Now here the main difference between the Monera and the Protista is Monera are prokaryotic cellular organisms, whereas Protista is eukaryotic cellular organisms. So they are also unicellular organisms but having a eukaryotic cell. Next come fungus. They can be multicellular and even cellular, like yeast. Yeast is an example of a fungus, but it is a unicellular organism. But most of fungi, they all are multicellular, except for some exceptions. Plantae, here we get definitely tissue level of organizations in plants. We have seen different type of tissues, meristematic tissues like parenchymatic, then xylem, phloem. They all are different type of tissues that are found in plants. Animals, definitely all these tissues, they form into organ system of organization. Organ and finally body. Complete organ and body organization is found in Animalia. So today we will be looking at all these 4 features. This mode of nutrition I will be taking up next. Thank you.